Some say this is the best breakfast burrito-based LinkedIn live show on the planet. Others say it's okay. Burritonians around the world, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, it's time to come together. It's Thursday. It's 7:45 a.m. This is the big live breakfast burrito!
What is going on?
Oh, it's completely
Going on. You're just like the epitome of the 80s.
You're not doing too bad. Your hair looks good this morning, Eric.
Just need to get a bit of a spritz on here. Hold on.
Oh, nice. What are you wearing this morning?
I'm very into Fahrenheit right now, but I go between Fahrenheit, jazz, polo, and clear water.
Jazz.
Yeah, I've got a bottle for me and a bottle for the XR3i.
Have you? You spray it in the car as well?
Spray it in the carpets. You can't.
Wow.
I find when you've got a really thick, dense 80s scent, you can't get enough of it.
Just load it up. Really heavy ones, because I've gone sort of more. I like the really heavy scents. So
right.
Poison. Because it can be subtle. And opium as well.
Well, if you put enough poison on, it's very subtle.
Yeah, exactly.
You douse yourself in it, your hair, your neck, wrist, the whole
And sometimes on a Sunday, dial it down a bit. A nay.
Oh, now we are talking. Oh my goodness me! I've got my sleeves rolled up. I've got my little string of pearls on. I've got my sun in dyed hair. You are all dolled up for the 80s. The XR3i is warmed up and ready to go.
Leg warmers.
Get those leg warmers on. We're going into town.
And I'll tell you what, just to finish it off.
Get that rah-rah skirt on.
I'll nail that. Let's do it. Let's go out. Let's drop some tunes and let's get back to the 80s, Eric. That's what I'm saying. Really quickly.
Yeah.
Where's your... Last week, darling, you had a Duran Duran t-shirt on.
Yeah.
We're doing the 80s special.
Yep.
Duran kind of quite big in the 80s. Where's your t-shirt?
So I decided I went with neon colours for the 80s.
Right.
Brackets. It's at the bottom of the washing pile, and it smelled a bit like a frog. So I decided not to go for it. Welcome, one and all. Enough of this malarkey. This is the Big Live Breakfast Burrito. This is It Was Acceptable in the 80s, our 80s special, as you can tell. We're going to be bringing you fantastic 80s themed stuff today. The show's not always an 80s show. We do a different theme every week. Look at these lovely captions, these lovely comments coming in from these wonderful people. We've got Karina Smith was in first. Good morning, Karina. Derek Roy, good morning. Moira Grigger, laughing her head off at an A&A. Morning, Graham Dallas, Andrew Slesser. Good morning from Kingsclere. My penultimate day of work. Aren't we pleased for you, Andrew?
Oh, well done.
Brilliant. Hello, Adam Gray, who used to cut a dash round about that London in the 80s. Catherine Morgan, good to you. Big shoulder pads at the ready, Barry. Absolutely, 100%. Morning from Houston, says Mark. Morning, Ross Jolly. Great to have you. Lisa's here. Caroline is here. My goodness me for all of this madness. William is here. He's on manoeuvres this week, but he sent in a video from a secret location. Natasha's here, super excited for this 80s extravaganza. Martin's here. Good to have Martin. Steve, it's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. David's here. Hi karate. Straight in there. Eddie Young. Hi karate.
I used to buy bottles of that for my dad every Christmas. My poor dad, he was like,
thanks, because I'm down to my last 12 bottles, Vanessa. That's great. Definitely a wee bit of Aramis in there. Remember Fahrenheit? You can smell it now, can't you?
oh, you can. But
nostrils.
that was like quite luxury. I mean, it was Dior, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It was top drawer. Paul says it was Kuros. It was all about Kuros. Good morning, Chris. Links Java.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun today. Thank you, everyone. For there is lots of love for an A, and what's that one? Lulu. It was all about Lulu. Rock that disco music. Everyone's here. Michael's here. Joe Morris is here. Stephen is here, and lots and lots of people. This is the Big Live Breakfast Burrito, our 80s special, as you can probably tell. We are going to be, if you've joined us for the first time, the only price of admission is for you to say hello. Tell us where you are. Tell us what's for breakfast on this 80s special. Did you have breakfast today, Vanessa?
No, I just had 2 coffees.
Yeah, same as me. Because that's in the 80s. That's how we rolled. We were too busy smashing deals.
Right, you know.
We needed coffee, other things that began with C, chocolate, croissants, other things that began with C.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it was a busy morning. Obviously, on the mobiles, and we were just
on the big mobile,
closing down a load of deals. Just
smashing deals. Money is power, right? Yeah.
Greed is good. All that.
Greed is good. So yeah, that's now that you're here, whether you like it or not, you're a Burritonian for life.
Yes, you are.
That's what we are. When we come together, we're all individuals during the day, but when we come together, we are the Burritonians, and this is magic. Every week we ask you to give us music suggestions on the theme. My goodness me, do we have... I mean, the Burritonians never, ever let us down. Never let us down. Will I give you a little example?
Yeah, go on.
So you guys come in with some, and we're going to play as much as we can. Yeah. Vanderbilt. Yeah. Oh, now we're talking. How about this, just to get us right into it? It doesn't get more 80s in music than this. Do you want a Campari and soda? I'm heading to the bar.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Campari and soda, or a Harvey Wallbanger or something, because we only drink multicolored cocktails in the 80s, don't we?
Neon cocktails.
Yeah. Have you been watching the Stock Aitken Waterman documentary?
On your very fine recommendation, I have.
And what a lid lifter that show is, right?
Amazing.
And this is the song that started it all, right? Such a touching, amazing, because I remember going through a phase of thinking, yet another Stock Aitken and Waterman nonsense, here we go. Now knowing all about it, knowing about the story, knowing about all of that, the guys were geniuses.
Yeah, they were.
Hands down. Business geniuses, music geniuses, production geniuses that just tapped into something. And that documentary is touching, funny, desperate, just amazing.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved watching that. And they just, no sort of strategy and big business plan, just got on with it.
Go for it and do it. The Hit Factory.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing 80s music. We're going to be giving away prizes. We're giving away tickets to the OGV podium. We're giving away drinks at the OGV tap room. What else is in store for this 80s spectacular today, Vanessa?
And it is a spectacular. So, as we've said, Will is on an assignment, but we do have a lovely video from the Bard of Burritonia with some fabulous poetry. What's the point? What's grinding your gears this week? This is the place and the time and the space just to purge all of that. Mugshots. So as some of you know, we have a wonderful group page, and there were some belters this week.
Oh my goodness, everyone's put in their 80s photographs, and the mugshots is worth hanging about for towards the end of the show today. It is fabulous.
some absolute classics from mugshots. We've got some wonderful facts with Simon. We've got not the 8:30 news with lovely Richard.
Buckle up.
Get the lawyers in.
Get the lawyers in.
Thirsty Thursdays, I've got a little something to recommend this week. Mon the Biff, we've got musical challenges. I found these really hard yesterday, but you guys won't know. It's Eric's musical missing vowels. And if you can guess them, pop them in the comments. And we've got a very, very, very exciting Doyle's Doubles this week. It's back. It's Eric's dubious impression. So hopefully all of that will happen, and we might just make some other stuff up as we go along, because that's normally what
Absolutely. I went to try and move my hair because, as it is in the 80s, I've put 1.5 cans of Elnet on this. Yeah. Listen, I actually cut my finger on it. It's solid. Solid.
Fixed in place Elnet. Are you
That's the
listening?
way I like it. I remember I had a David Sylvian. I was fascinated by Japan. I had a David Sylvian thing going on, and walking around on a council estate like an angst-ridden new romantic. I had the big fringe, the short sides like this, tucked in behind the ears, and a bit of a mullet, dark at the back, my natural hair color, and bleach blonde at the front.
Wow.
And this big like hard thing, David Sylvian, Gentlemen Take Polaroids era thing on the front. And we had a thing at our school, I think I've said it on here before, which caused absolute mayhem. Someone realised, one of the girls realised one day that with your bleach blonde bit full of sun in at the front, if you pulled a strand out or a bit of it, a handful of it out, you could rub carbon paper on it and give yourself like a quick... So all of our school, boys and girls, were walking around with bleached fronts, just the bleached front, full of carbon paper stripes.
And the
my word.
They went crazy.
Absolutely. Hey, we're not going to mess around. We're going into our first feature. The mug's coming. The mug's coming, Roy. I promise the mug is coming. We're going to go into our first feature. It's Breakfast Cam, where we can turn on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people's cameras that are sitting watching, unsuspecting right now. You know the song. This is one of Stock Aitken and Waterman's. Vanessa, could you count me down in a sort of like 80s countdown style?
Yeah. This is what I do every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll switch on someone's camera unsuspectingly. 3, 2, 1. It's Amanda. I don't think she's noticed. Hello, Amanda. How are you today?
Happy. Well, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Are you enjoying the music so far?
Loving the 80s.
Loving
Rewind
the 80s.
Festival. Oh my god.
Rewind Festival. What was the kind of wine? What kind of wine were you hitting in the 80s?
Black Tower.
Black Tower.
Yeah, Black Tower. Lee Milch and Lambrusco. Lambrusco. A bit of Hawk, maybe. Oh yes.
Stuck a bit of Hawk in there.
Lovely and sweet.
Very bit
nice,
of Blue Nun. Honestly,
bit of Blue Nun. They were all there. And, they may come back. Who knows?
They may come back.
They may come back.
Amanda, enjoy your day. We're sorry for interrupting you. Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Bye.
Bye, lovely Amanda.
Bye.
Bye.
Breakfast burrito.
That was Breakfast Burrito. That was Breakfast Cam, Breakfast Burrito. Hello, Beth Alexander. Welcome to the 80s extravaganza. Should we just... in fact, I need to play more 80s music, can I? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I need to. Let me just get a bit of this on. I loved this when it was out and had a bit of a crush on this lady.
Right, so.
A bit of Princess. How about this? How about this for the diehards out there? This is for the awkward people at the school disco. You know who you were. Just when we all thought we were doing really well with our extravagant haircuts, this guy comes along and makes us all go, now that's an 80s haircut. There are a couple of songs that when I play them just transport me back to the 80s. And when I hear this, oh my word. I used to be quite good at doing Jimmy Somerville's Little Dance.
Did you?
Yeah, I was quite good at that.
That your signature move?
What's that?
Was that your signature move?
That was one of the, well, I had a suite of signature moves. Very powerful, Jim. Very powerful. Especially the story, right?
Yeah.
Vanessa, there's a fax just come in for you.
Is there?
The fax, yeah.
Fax, okay.
It's jammed though. In the middle of it, it's just like stretched. So we might have to get them to send it again.
You have problems with that fax machine, don't you?
Yeah, I do have problems with that fax machine. Oh, quick run through. There's a cheap holiday on CFAX on Teletext. Quick, 39 quid. We can get to Torremolinos.
Gotta be quick though, right?
Gotta be quick. Oh. Barry's taping this show.
I used to do that on Radio 1 on the Sunday charts.
Quite right.
And press.
Quite right. Peter Kay style. Oh, don't stop it before they talk. We're going to give away some drinks. If you type in OGV Tap Room, just the way it is down there, capital OGV Tap Room, and type the name of the song. Hold on, a bit my hairspray has gone into my eye. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm all right. It's sort of like the hairspray, my mascara.
Yeah, and a bit of eyeliner.
A bit of eyeliner. I need to get used to it again, right? Waiting for the page to refresh on CFAX for the football scores. Amazing. All you have to do is OGV Tap Room, type in the name of the song, the name of the artist, and we want it perfectly, and you can win yourself some drinks vouchers for the amazing OGV Tap Room, right? So it's over to you now.
No New Year's Day.
Andrew Connolly's going to pager over the answer.
No pager. You were like...
Oh yeah, big.
No first of spring. No song to sing. In fact, here's just another ordinary day. No April rain.
He's barred himself, remember?
No flowers bloom.
It's Moira Grigor. Moira Grigor, you have won yourself 4 drinks at the OGV Tap Room. There we go. Let me just check. Stevie Wonder, OGV Tap Room. I just called to say I love you. Have a great time.
Oh, how lovely. Well done.
Have a great time on us, eating into OGV's profits. But I'm sure they don't mind. They don't mind. just drop us a little line and tell us how you got on. Well done to Moira.
Well done.
You might want to hook up with three Burritonians and take them along and have a little burrito night out. You know what I'm saying? Just a suggestion.
That's a nice idea.
To say how much I care. I just call
Bum 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 bum.
to say I love you.
No problem, Moira.
And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. No summer's high.
Right, we're moving on. The next feature of this show is What's the Point? This is a chance for us all to vent. What's grinding your gears this week? What's annoying you about your life or the world?
Yep. Purge it all out.
Get it out. There's no judgment here. It could be one word. It could be a sentence. All you had to say is, like for example, Vanessa, what's the point of
Mopping my floors when it's wet and I've got a dog. It's just pointless.
mopping the floors when it's wet and you've got a dog? Exactly. It can be as simple as that. As simple as that.
Oh,
Here, what's the point? What's annoying you about the world right now in the chat? And let us know. Let's get it off. Like, for instance, Martin has just jumped in and said, what's the point in having a Tory party chairman who's supposed to keep all these people in check, right?
Quite. So I had
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
What's yours, Eric? Apart from like your wig and Elnet, what's the point for you, my love? Of
What's the point of microwave pasta and tomato sauce? I saw it the other day in a store and I was thinking, it takes about 8 minutes to make some pasta, and you can open a tin of tomatoes, whack in some oregano or basil or something, maybe chuck in some chicken or whatever. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's there was like loads sold. There was loads gone. Microwave. It's like, and I looked at the ingredients, full of chemicals, full of sugar.
no. I'm shocked by that. I thought that was going to be all natural and wholesome quality.
All natural and wholesome. What's the point of Jim Goodwin? Good point. Thank you, Roy. Stuart White says, what's the point of Frank McAvenny with Eric looking like that? Where's the buds? What's the point of politics? Says Eddie Young. Absolutely. Ian's getting quite close to home. What's the point of Nicola Sturgeon's opinion on gender identity? Yep. Ian is cutting into a hot topic in Scotland right now. What's the point of telling my wife we need to leave at this time?
I'm the same with my other half.
Mikhail's come in and said, just a quick note to say hello. My dog has surgery appointment. Good luck with the doggy, and hope everything's going well with the new apartment. Mikhail. Andrew says, what is the point? It's quite of the BBC chairman. Yeah, absolutely. What's the point of mobile phones? They'll never catch on. Exactly.
With you.
They're too big.
They're too big. They're
too big.
Too expensive. Can't do anything on them. That's just a quick little fad. That will disappear.
What's the point of having a meeting to decide the Aberdeen Football Club's manager's future, and then you'll keep him anyway? The Aberdeen fans are a bit upset right now.
Yeah.
Don't say the word Darvel too loud around them at all. Absolutely. Roy Milne, what's the point of thinking you'll leave Costco with only the things you went in for?
Never happens, Roy.
Never.
Ever.
I went in for some milk and a jumbo pack of peanuts, and I came out with a fridge, a microwave, a new barbecue, and a jumbo TV.
And 12 bottles of body lotion.
12
Because
bottles.
they're massive packs, aren't they?
This sounds a bit bitter. This sounds a bit like personal. What's the point of a garage warranty? Absolutely. My goodness me. Let's play some more 80s tunes. Thank you very much for your What's the Points. Keep them coming in. Remember this one. Do you remember what their thing was, their little gimmick?
No.
They used to spray their Doc Martens with spray paint.
No.
Reds and yellows and blues, and they caused many a child around the country to go into the garage, get spray paint and spray their Docs, much to the annoyance of their parents. What's the point of Ticketmaster, says Mark. Oh dear. What's the point of Gritters when there's no snow or ice? Yeah, absolutely. What time is it, Vanessa?
What time is it? I think it's around about 8:15. It's definitely not 8:30.
It's definitely not 8:30.
No.
Definitely not 8:30. Would you say it's time? It's not time for the not 8:30 news? Not.
Yeah, I would say that is correct.
That is correct, or something like that, right? So, well, let's do it. It is not the 8:30 news. Buckle up, everybody. This might be the last time we see you. Whew. Here we go.
In 10 minutes, Wacky Races continues here on BBB1. But now it's time for Not the News at 8:30 with Jeremy Pac-Man.
And a very good morning to you from Downing Street. And in this topsy-turvy, will he, won't he week of political intrigue, we begin with showbiz and news that the still hanging on by his fingernails Tory party chairman Nadim Zahawi is making the switch from politics to comedy. Although these days it's hard to see where one ends and the other begins. The former Chancellor and Minister without shame, that should be of course, Minister without portfolio, is being slated in more ways than one to play young Buster in a remake of the 1980s film featuring Phil Collins as great train robber Ron Buster Edwards. Now, as you can see here, if I press the right button, Not the 8:30 News has obtained exclusive access to the billboard advertising the Netflix blockbuster. We've also been given a sneak preview of rehearsals. And here they are.
This is an interview with Ronald Christopher Edwards, also known as Buster, and me, DS Jack Slipper. For the record, also present is WPC Enid Blyton. Now, Enid, be a darling and go and fetch us a cuppa. And remember how I like it. 5 sugars, sweet and milky, just like your ours, your father's. And while you're down there, fetch me ciggies so I can puff some more smoke into this toe rag's face.
£5 a bunch. Lovely English daffodils, new season daffodils, only a fiver a bunch. Come on, come on. And I was about to say, get a cup of rosy for me too, when I thought to myself, me too. Now, we didn't have hashtags back in the day. I thought to myself, though, that's no way to treat another human being in every respect, no less important than me mum or me sister or me auntie Ethel. And I thought, do you know what? They should start a global movement to promote women's rights. What I didn't know then, of course, was it'd take 60 ruddy years to happen. Anyway, I could see the Sarge had come over all dreamy-eyed at the sight of Enid's uniform, and I asked him straight out, are there 2 hearts beating in just one mind? And he said to me, chance would be a fine thing, Buster. She's got a groovy kind of love going on with 2 new recruits to the Sweeney. Right couple of geezers, he reckoned, cocky with it. Told him they should have their own TV show, they did. What a cheek, eh? And what were their names? Jack Regan and George Carter, I think he told me. Regan, he said, was the smart one. Had him down as inspector material. Carter, though, he was as thick as mince. Be lucky to make Sarge, he said, although he was handy with his fists. So, half an hour later, Enid's still not back with the tea. And Slipper says to me, he says, I'll be doing the shuffle dance down Mrs. Dixon's care home for retired coppers in Dock Green at this rate, watching endless repeats of gritty police procedurals on satellite TV if they ever get round to inventing such a thing, which back then was unlikely, given they'd only managed to send a monkey, a dog and a Russian with the unlikely name of Gagarin into space. Anyway, back to that interview.
About time, Enid. I was gagging for that. Now, we got you banged to rights, Buster. You won't be going loco in Acapulco or anywhere for that matter anytime soon. We know you done it. We just haven't got the evidence yet. So young Enid Blyton here, thanks for the tea, love, is going to be a darling and make it up. So you need to keep your big ears open. And when PC Plod asks you a question, I need that little wooden head of yours to go all noddy. So, question number 1. How'd you stop the train? Well, we was careless, Sarge, careless. No other way of putting it. Me and Bigsy and the boys was staggering home after a couple of pig's ears at the stag in Mentmore when carelessly, like I say, carelessly, we decided to take a shortcut along the West Coast main line like you do. And it was a cold old night, so I'm wearing my gloves, but one of them must have fell off and somehow got stuck on a signal and blocked the green light. So what happens next is the Royal Mail train carrying 2.6 million quid stopped. Like I say, careless. Should have kept me gloves on. I admit that. Should have kept me gloves on and not had that battery-operated red light with us. So what about the driver, Jack Mills, who got hit over the head with a metal cosh? Was that careless too? Careless, yeah. Very good way of putting it, Sarge. Careless. Couldn't have put it better myself. Bruce and Charlie, right, they does a bit of plumbing work on the side, they do. And they only gone and bought a bit of old lead pipe with them. Well, we're all arguing over whether welding or soldering is the best thing for lead when Bruce chucks me the pipe. At the precise moment, the driver trips over Charlie's plates and falls headlong and hits his loaf on the aforementioned piping. I mean, we didn't have a clue, though we should have done. I can see that now. Didn't have a clue, though, but we should have done. Very careless indeed. So how do you explain removing the dosh, all but 8 of 120 sackfuls of it? Was that careless? It was, yeah, very careless. Perhaps the most careless bit of all the careless things what we done that careless morning, Sarge. Let me explain. We had a plant, we called him the Ulsterman, at the Inland Revenue, who'd only gone and told us that the money was being siphoned off to Jersey or the Isle of Man or even the Cayman Islands. I ask you. Now, me and Bigsy in the gang thought that's unfair because the revenue is raising money to pay for things like the NHS. And I said to the lads, I said, one day people are going to be so appreciative of what the NHS does that they're going to stand on their doorsteps every Thursday evening clapping to show their respect for doctors and nurses what work in it. And we agreed there and then to nick it to stop it getting nicked. Now, I do admit that sounds a bit careless, very careless indeed. So I'll tell you what, how about we pay it back plus a bit of interest and some penalties and you and Enid here forget about the whole thing. We got a deal. I have to warn you though, it might take a bit to get all the bunch together. I mean, floristry ain't the best paid job in the world now, is it? But I have got a cousin. He might be able to help. He's landed himself a nice little earner as a security guard at Brinksmat.
I think that's outstanding.
Absolutely outstanding.
That was really good reporting.
Very good reporting.
And very good.
Can you, let me put Vanessa back where she belongs, there are so many 80s references in there.
Yeah, loads of them.
In the Burritonians group chat, and I think he's got a definitive number of the amount of 80s references in there. Can you watch that back and guess? This bloke sounds like my uncle. Says Jim, this bloke sounds like my uncle. That was fantastic. So, can you guess how many 80s references there were in there? I lost track, but there were plenty, right? The music, the films, the stuff that was going on.
It was amazing, John. It really was.
Absolutely.
Right.
A few more. In fact, we'll go straight into. Why don't we go straight into? This is 80s.
Yes.
What I've done is this is the music challenge, right? Now you found this quite difficult.
Yes, I did. And
what I've done is, if anybody's sussed me out yet, I get most of my ideas from Richard Osman's House of Games, right? So I've taken famous 80s songs, and I'm just going to put them up on the screen, but I've changed the vowels to other vowels. Right? I've changed the vowels to other vowels. The first one is super easy, right? Here we go. I've changed the vowels only.
Yeah. I don't see letters. I haven't got a clue.
You only see letters. This game doesn't work for you, does it? You're more pictorial. You get the emojis like that. I've
Might
changed.
not.
This is a big 80. You putting on some more an A or poison or opium?
Yeah, an A&A actually. I was
An A just to freshen it up a little bit.
top top.
So, which famous? Yeah, it is absolutely. Look, people are getting it. There's the next one. It was, of course, Toto Africa or Tutu Africa. Africa without a doubt. What about this one? This is super easy, right? You can get this one.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the answers now.
Yeah. Because you showed me the answers yesterday. Like really easy.
Can anyone get this? Oh, Beth Alexander is all over it today. Graham Dallas is straight in.
Holy moly.
There's only
You in my life.
That sounds a bit Alan Rickman.
Yes. Where is John McClane? The next one. You seeing these okay?
Yes, perfect love. Yeah.
This one is like the easiest one we've ever done. Endless Love. Well done, Stephen. Well done, Andrew, Barry, Lisa. Everybody got that. Beth is on fire. Can you get this one as quick, Alexander? Beth Alexander.
Go on, Beth. Get that countdown clock.
Oh, David Taylor's in with that one.
Really?
People are on fire.
Yeah, they really are.
The next one. Boleo Gion. Boleo Gion.
Famous song.
It's a famous song. It's a famous song. Boleo Gion. Well done, Joe, Andrew, Natasha, Matt, Andrew, Barry. Yes, it was Faith. But what is Boleo Gion?
Was that
Boleo Gion?
by the Gypsy Kings?
By the Gypsy Kings. Oh, Beth Alexander's just trashing this today.
Amazing.
Billie Jean. Boleo Gion becomes Billie Jean. Next one. Persamu Segir Anmo. Persamu Segir Anmo. This is one for all of our Scandinavian viewers. Persamu Segir Anmo.
Goodness me.
I think I've said something very rude in Finnish.
But it is possible.
It is possible. It is Persamu Segir Anmo. I've only changed the vowels.
Wow.
I'm just going to let this one go to the chorus.
Yeah.
Hold on, we've got to get it. Persamu Segir Anmo. Easy peasy. What's the next one?
Very good. Oh dear.
The next one. We've only got a few left. We'll put you out.
Yeah.
Glero.
Oh, I've got that.
Glero. It's Glero.
Yeah.
You
And
got
I
it?
think- yeah, and I think these are probably appropriate for it as well. The old leg warmers.
Oh, definitely. Glero.
Yeah.
Anybody got Glero?
Yeah. If I can get it, come on. Everyone can get it.
Beth, what are you doing to us?
Go on, Beth.
Laura Branigan had some pipes on her. She can sing. I can confirm I'm not in the green room. Oh, come on. The LinkedIn algorithm now is going crazy. Loads of people are typing the word Gloria. Miss Gloria, what's that? Is that a new trending thing?
It's a new trend, isn't it?
Plunot yard. Plunot yard.
Oh.
Plunot yard. I have a feeling Beth Alexander.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
going to say it now. Plunot yard. Plunot yard.
She's off.
One of my favourites from the 80s. Plunot yard. Glero.
Yeah.
Pero Samo Seger on Moo. Oh, for goodness sake.
Have you ever read it?
Yeah, I know. She's 3 Weetabix. Did you see Ready Brick?
Yeah.
That's very on theme, on trend with the day, the little orange glow. Will these ever end? Says Vanessa. Will they ever? Plunot Earth becomes Planet Earth by Duran Duran. Nude.
Oh, got that.
Nugiatonot.
Yeah, got that.
Nugiatonot.
Yeah.
Nugiatonot. This one's hard. I don't think it's as easy as you're making out.
That's easy peasy.
And Nugiatonot.
How did you do with your sort of French GCSE or GCE?
Not very well.
No.
Yes, of course, it's in excess.
Well done, Lisa.
I've got to let you know.
Well done, and Adam, Ross, Matt, Andrew, Beth, of course, Stephen.
I need you tonight. 'Cause I'm not sleeping.
How good is this? How good is this?
The song
Timeless for me. I know my kids would probably say, oh, it sounds like the 80s. It's fabulous, right?
Yes.
makes me sweat. I'm lonely.
Oh,
Can't take it all.
right. I think we might be coming to the last one or the penultimate one. That was Nugiatonot by In Excess.
It's like Alan Partridge doing like 80s radio. And that was
That was Nugiatonot. Chucky mo broth, Yui. Chucky mo broth, Yui.
a new entry this week at number 12.
Chucky mo broth. This is from the Welsh band, the big Welsh 80s band. Oh, for goodness sake. We've clearly made these far too easy.
All this endless ocean, finally lovers know no shame.
The lead singer of Berlin was ahead of the time with the old dip dye or whatever you call it. What's it called? A
Balayage.
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 A balayage. Does it have to have that with it? Balayage.
You look like an 80s hairdresser.
I do. What was his name? Nicky
No,
something?
Nick, yes.
Nicky.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Who was the 80s hairdresser Nicky that used to be on the clothes show and all that?
He had his own range of products. Nicky
Leather
Clark.
trousers.
Nicky, yeah. Have you come in for your balayage?
Coming in for your balayage. Yeah, it has to be like that.
Lulu, wasn't he? I think.
What?
I think. There
No,
was a-
that was Frida.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Eric. You'd know. You'd know your hairdressing differences.
I do. While we've been chatting away about gibberish, it was Nicky Clark. It was Nicky Clark. He had all the Nicky Clark products bottles round the bath because it looked cool.
Yeah.
Nicky Clark, of course. Hello, Leggy.
Yes.
Hello, Leggy. They're already coming in. Of course, it was the Mondays. I think this takes about 8 hours to go up because it's the club mix. Hello, Leggy becomes Hallelujah. Oh. Right, this is your last one. That was it.
I'm
was fun.
still laughing about Nicky Clark.
Nicky Clark. I used to love when they'd sit down like a potato in front of him with like Brillo pads for hair, and he'd be like, "What am I going to do with this? We'll just cut it all off." Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Got to give you.
Right, what's next? I've lost the plot. I know what it is. I've just remembered what it is. It's time for
Danish Artist of the Week.
our resident Dane, Tiba Begeman from Esbjerg, the only Begeman in the phone book in Denmark or in Esbjerg. I can't remember if it's Esbjerg or just Denmark because it's a Dutch name originally. Begeman. Every week on the theme of the song sends us a Danish artist's sort of. So this is Laid Back from Copenhagen with their big hit at the time, huge hit, mostly in Copenhagen. It sold 150 records. This is Sunshine Reggae. The only Begeman in the Danish phone book. This takes you back, doesn't it? Dancing around in the summertime.
Give me just a little smile. That's all I ask of you. Give me just a little smile. We got a message for you.
This is
Danish Artist of the Week.
jolly good, but there's only one song we should be playing right now. We know what it is. You know what it is. It is. Well, that's a bit of a non-starter. That's a bit of a non-starter, isn't it? That's a bit of a non-starter. Will we try something else? Just hold on for 1 second. There's only one song we should be playing right now, and that is. Red, red wine goes to my head. Nah, it's decided not to. It's decided to stop, which is a bit of a bummer. That's all right. Carry on. You do your wine. I'll put the thing up. Everybody sing along. Red, red wine. Just give her, give her a bit of her theme tune. Has it started yet? Oh, hey! Vanessa Gartell, the social sommelier. Thirsty Thursdays. What have you got for us today? Are you doing a bit of Blue Nun, a bit of Hawk, a bit of Liebfraumilch?
Now, it's funny you should say this. Couple of things. Believe it or not, I wasn't actually the legal age to drink in the 80s. I know. So I've had to go and do a little bit of research on this. The 80s was actually the decade that wine consumption really took off in the UK, and champagne sales as well. There were some wines in the 80s that were not acceptable. Black Tower, Blue Nun, Matthias Rosé. Get the order. Matthias Rosé out. We're going posh tonight. But there was some quite interesting trends. California really, really took off, and not necessarily for the right reasons, with those massive, big oaky Chardonnays. And White Zinfandel became really, really popular. But one great seems to have popped up in my research, and I'm super chuffed to see it because I think it is more than acceptable, and it's Gewürztraminer.
Oh.
Right, that was being quaffed in the 80s. So what's Gewürztraminer all about here, you ask? It's a white grape that likes quite a cool climate. It actually has a kind of a pinky reddish skin on its grape. So it looks almost a bit like Pinot Gris when it's grown. It's been produced in Alsace for like hundreds and hundreds of years, which is the world's largest producer of Gewürztraminer. It's also grown in Germany. You can get it in Chile, New Zealand, Oregon, Australia. Clare Valley makes some amazing Gewürztraminers. Alsace Gewürztraminer has a bit of a notoriety for being quite sweet.
Right.
And they introduced some brilliant stuff on the back of their labels on a scale of 1 to 10. So you can actually see if it's dry, if it's sweet. They introduced that themselves. Gewürz in German is actually the word for spice. So sometimes you'll sometimes smell like nutmeg and clove and cinnamons and stuff. But for me, that spice word is actually referring to the aromatic nature of Gewürztraminer. It is highly, highly, highly aromatic. We'll see that on the tasting notes. So what are we doing this week on Thirsty Thursday? We are doing Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Gewürztraminer from Alsace 2021, right? Let's have a little look at all of this. Okay, so in the glass, it's quite a nice yellow colour, right?
Very white wine-ish.
Right, which is a good start. It's all about the nose. If you are doing a blind tasting and you ever smell these three things, this is telltale sign Gewürztraminer. Light cheese, right? Pink rose petals and almost like Turkish delight. If you ever smell anything like that, that is a giveaway that you're looking at a Gewürztraminer. And when we smell all that on the nose, we sometimes think that the wine is going to be really sweet, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, right? So let's take a little.
Aromatic.
Thank you, my friend. So all of those sweet aromas would make you think that it's sweet, but it's not. It's actually quite off dry. It's soft. It's medium bodied. It's fresh. It's young. It's low in acidity. So acidity is the stuff that makes your mouth water. So you know, like when you have like a really big, like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and your mouth waters. This low in acidity, and this is why Gewürztraminer is the best wine you can pair with spicy foods. Low acidity, pair with spicy foods. If you like spicy Indian food or spicy Thai food, a Thai red curry, something with a bit of kick, Gewürztraminer is the absolute best wine you can pop with those types of dishes. This is classic Gewürztraminer. I'm a total fan. Yes, it is acceptable, more than acceptable, and it's £10 from Sainsbury's. That's
outrageous. We're going to give you a massive round of applause for that. Thank you so much to the brilliant Vanessa Gartell. The brilliant Vanessa Gartell again.
Thank you.
See, I would walk past that. I don't understand German wine, so I would walk past it. Now I'm educated.
There you go.
Thank you so much for that. That is absolutely awesome. We're going to move. Do you want some facts?
I think it's time. We do.
I think it's time. So if you can put your volume or your thing off, let's hear from our resident factoidodian. It is none other than Simon Wells.
Fact of the day. Ah, the 80s. What a weird and wonderful decade it was. Big perms were all the rage. Scott and Charlene were on our screens all the time. Kids hung out in amusement arcades. Some truly classic movies were made, and it was impossible to buy any clothing that didn't look like it had been involved in a neon paint factory explosion. And what was yours truly doing in this magnificent decade? Well, being the sprightly year-old that I am, I spent most of my time following the adventures of this guy. He-Man was the hero for kids in the 80s. Going about his everyday life on planet Eternia as Prince Adam, a disguise even more pathetic than Superman putting on a pair of glasses and changing his parting. When trouble came, he would hold his sword in the air, recite the words, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power!" And as if by magic, his outfit would change. But did you know that the cartoon He-Man was based on the action figure and not the other way round? Most of the action figures I owned as a kid, and I owned a lot, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, A-Team, Star Wars, they all came off the back of a popular cartoon, TV series or movie. But the He-Man cartoons were created to boost the struggling sales of the already existing toy. And it worked. He-Man went from being a random little action figure that no one had ever heard of to being the world-famous franchise that it is today. But would this butch, muscular, semi-clad example of manliness work in the 21st century? I doubt it. I think He-Man is best left firmly in the 80s. Fact of the day.
I loved He-Man.
Loved He-Man. Loved He-Man.
Thundercats are on the loose. Thundercats. Oh, that is just taking me right. I loved all of that.
It's taking you right back. Do you want to just thank you so much to Simon for putting that together, and that cute little photo of him in the swing is just absolutely brilliant. Do you want to sack the next one?
No, I don't. Mr. Nicky Clark. No, I don't. So it's Doyle's doubles. It's that time. Eric's fabulous impressions. of someone well known, normally aligned to the theme of the show. So think 80s. Eric's, you've been on excellent form with these past couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to this one. And pop it in the comments who you think he's doing on Doyle's doubles, and put us all out of our misery. Do you have a little jingle, Eric? Have I just put you on the spot there?
I don't have a jingle. But that's okay. That's okay. I want to get this one over and done with because it's truly dreadful.
Is it?
Truly dreadful. So put me out my misery, folks. As soon as someone even guesses what it is, and I'm going to drop some heavy clangers on what it might be right away. Here's the first heavy clanger. Right, here we go. I want to make sure we get George on the stage first. We need to get George on the stage first. These people need rice and food, and they need it now. Never mind the email address. Get the phone number up on the screen. Get David Bowie and flipping Freddie Mercury up on the stage. Is Phil Collins in Philadelphia yet? He's going between the two. Never mind the email address. Get the phone number up on the screen now. Come on, these people are starving. Never mind the mail address. Get the phone number up on the screen right away. These people need flipping food.
That's very good. Ross got it. Quite a few people got it. I thought that was good.
Thank goodness. I'm playing this because I can, and I can't do an 80s thing without this band, or I'd be untrue to myself. Obsessed is not the word.
Really?
Never mind the never mind the email address. It wasn't email, it was the postal address, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was Japan, the effeminate pop futurists with gentlemen take Polaroids. Moving on swiftly. Let's give away some tickets to the OGV podium. All you have to do, it's really simple. Win yourself a couple of tickets to go and see an act of your choice. Let me just remind myself. Oh, I'm excited.
It's a good one.
This is a belter. If I can find it. Talk amongst yourselves for a little second. Yeah, here we go. All you have to do is OGV podium, the song and the artist. Win yourself 2 tickets. Simple as that.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. See, we can go where we want to, places they will never find. And we can act like we come from out of this world, leave the real one far behind. We can dance. What you say? We can go when we want to. Night is young and so am I. And we can dress real neat from our hearts to our feet and surprise them with a victory cry. Say, we can act if we want to. If we don't, nobody will. And you can act real rude and totally.
So Andrew's barred himself. That makes Barry the first, Graham the second. Ross Holloway is the winner.
Well
Ross
done.
Holloway, congratulations, sir.
Fabulous.
You win yourself 2 tickets to the OGV podium. We'll hook you up with the lovely Emma Davidson and get you sorted out, sir. And there's some fantastic stuff coming up throughout the year. Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Marta.
Elevated your hair.
Especially for you this morning. We are moving like light speed, like Knight Rider through this. It is time for some poetry with the Bard. Should we do that? Let me put Marta back in the garage there. Let me get rid of Simon. It's just showing you the inner workings of what's going on here. Do you want to go on mute?
Yes, darling.
It's time for some Poetry Corner, everyone.
Hello, Burritonians. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. I'm on my travels once again. So the theme this week was around the 80s, and I've come up with a poem by somebody called Tonlaw, and it's Rock Me Back to the 80s. Come on, Eileen, rock me back to the 80s. to Paradise City and Cayley, to golden brown fun days and manic blue Mondays, where the streets have no name still for me. There, a small town boy, dancing with myself, will again die in your arms tonight. So go, Enola Gay, just take my breath away with melodies of a once wonderful life. So rock me back to the 80s, where Jackson first thrilled and Springsteen, he first danced in the dark, where it pours purple rain, yeah, here I go again, always a total eclipse of the heart. Have a great week and see you next week. Take care. Bye.
How many amazing songs were in that?
Wasn't that great?
I was every single one of them. I was like, love that, love that, love that.
Love that, love that, love that.
Amazing.
Do you know this? Do you know this one? Thanks to Will. That was fantastic. Do you know this one?
Track, which then was synced to the Moog modular. I knew that could be a sound of the future, but I didn't realize how much the impact would be. My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
Inspired 80s music. Oh, I've got to play it again. That wee bit there just gives me a little bit of a shiver.
Which then was synced to the Moog modular. I knew that could be a sound of the future, but I didn't realize how much the impact would be. My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
Giorgio by Marauder by Daft Punk. Daft Punk, as they say in France. Daft Punk.
Don't know that.
Oh. It is worth hanging around for these mugshots. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. People call me Giorgio. That's a beauty. We have a group page called Burritonians, and just to let you know, we achieved our 100th member this week, and that was James Monroe. So we're going to send James Monroe a burrito mug. Congratulations on being our 100th member. But Susan Brown, Richard Urich started a bit of a thing by posting pictures of them in the 80s, and it started a bit of a trend. So
awesome photos.
Yeah, this is our mugshots. Starts off with Susan Brown with pink eyeshadow and blue eyeliner. Richard Urich with his lovely Icelandic sweater. Scott Petrie showing already his love for animals and that wild print t-shirt. Paul Burgess with his first leather jacket he bought with his first pay packet from Burton's. Andrew Slesser cutting a bit of a dash there, a bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers vibes, I'm saying. Elton Foister with his RAF card at 16. Strawberry Switchblade, or the Cocteau Twins, or as I like to call them, Carol Ann Cowie and her friend. Andrew Billington doing a bit of Ray Mears, kind of Bear Grylls out in the forest in the 80s. Rachel Hattersley looking like every one of the girls in my class in third year. Will Shorten at high school, by the way, looking older than his PE teacher. I think there should be a bit of a steward's inquiry. Will Shorten, I interviewed some of his schoolmates in third year at that time, and they said they did think it was a bit odd that Will's wife used to drop him off in their Granada at school before he went to school.
Older there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look a bit older. Yeah, absolutely. There's me with Nick Cave at Tea in the Park. I couldn't find an 80s one. There's, check this out, Andy Griffiths.
Wow.
Looking good. Stuart White. Actually, that looks like, you know one of these documentaries where they do about a master of disguise. Master of disguise. Europe's most wanted man.
Wanted by Interpol.
Sometimes he looks like a bit of an ice hockey player. Sometimes he looks like a bit of an accountant. Sometimes he just blends into the crowd. He looks like an 80s star. Stuart White, absolutely fantastic. The Master of Disguise. What else have we got? Dan Marshall playing about with his kid brother, stealing cornflakes. Simon Wells on his little swing. Craig Allen was the only one that sent in a picture from the 1880s. But good of him to do it. We just said 80s. We never said which century. That was him in the.
Terrible, Muriel. You really are.
I'm going to get ripped for that.
Yeah.
Mark Cowison looking the part with the Scotland strip on there, cutting a dash. Andy found a Burrito. He's travelling today. He can't be with us. Jenny Fife sitting on a rather cool car in the 80s as a little kid. Karina Smith, brilliant, absolutely loving the 80s glasses. Mick Albenio sitting playing, I don't know what that game is, but look at that collar. And that's our mugshots for this week.
Absolute 80s throwback. Absolutely loved that. That's been brilliant. Well
absolutely done. Brilliant. I've absolutely loved this week. It's been a fantastic bit of a throwback for us.
Yeah.
We've reached the end of the show.
Yeah, that's been a great one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the hi-hat. Go on. That's good. Now the tambourine. Right now.
Gigolo.
Yeah. DJ. Who's that gigolo on the street with his hands in his pockets and his crocodile feet hanging on?
Richard Urey just cutting some shapes in that studio of his. We've reached the end of our show. Thank you so much for being with us. Paul's off to walk the dog.
Very nice.
You missed Lamal. Missed Lamal, Elton. What a great show. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us for our 80s special. It was acceptable in the 80s.
It was.
Thanks to our sponsors, OGV Taproom and OGV Podium. Thanks to our breakfast camera this week, the lovely Amanda. Thanks to Will, Simon, Richard and Vanessa. And well done to our winners. We'll be in touch to get you sorted out. And thank you to everyone that joined us today. It was a little bit of light relief on a Thursday morning.
It was fun. It was a great one. Awesome.
Yeah, totally. We're going to stay here. We're going to play it with something nice. What will we play it with? Let me see. I had the biggest crush on this lady, and unfortunately she passed away far too early. But I was so into Mel. We're just going to stay here and wave at you until the last people go. You can stay and listen to some tunes if you want. Thank you, Barry. Thanks, Natasha. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Andrew. Scott. What about this as a little mellow? Woo, woo, woo. Woo. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Kate. Can I take this off now because I have a slight ecosystem thing going on here. Thank you, John. No problem. Sterling worked today, Mr. Urich.
You can see the wig mark there on your forehead.
And yeah, absolutely. It's cutting deep.
One suffers for one's art.
Right.
Thank you, Stephen, Andrew, Carol Ann. Thank you, Marta.
Thank you, Andrew.
Can we please do an 80s feature next week? What, another one?
Do you think we just done for over an hour?
I think it was really good of Craig to send a photo in from the 1880s. I'm standing by for messages of abuse.
They're coming your way, darling.
Bye, Joe. We will see you guys later. Have a great Thursday. Thank you, Matthew. Bye, guys. This might be a top 3 burrito show ever. Who knew?